back to episode 3 of the My Team Career Mode here on F1 22. We're going to be running the Australian Grand Prix here at the new layout of the Melbourne Park circuit. It's going to be an interesting one. I don't know quite how the car is going to feel here. Don't really know too much of the circuit. I did a little bit of time trial around here in the Ferrari. Right now we did just get passed by McLaren in the R&D charts, so we're going to be looking at some upgrades we can do here to the aerodynamics. So actually, we're just checking through if there's anything else we can do, or anything we can do on the car, which we can't. Every department fully booked. But let's head into the Pirelli, or we're gonna sim now. Just check whatever we get here. The spark plug upgrade did go through, which is great.
As the boss, departments will often reach
sorry about all the pauses. I don't know
out
what's
to you for
happening
advice
to
on
the
how to
recording.
handle the various ongoings of your team. These events can range from everything from organising charity events to dealing with driver matters. How you decide to handle these will have an impact on not only our resources, but how the press perceives us.
So we threw on 2 more powertrain upgrades. The overwheel wing, did go through.
Okay, we've had the new parts come through the fabrication process. We'll have them with us for the next Grand Prix.
And let's head into the Pirelli hot lap now around the Australian Grand Prix. We're going to be doing an average speed zone. So as you see, this is my second attempt at this. The first lap got disqualified. This is my best attempt. Third lap also got disqualified. I was just very slow through these corners, just trying to learn. It is wet, as you can see, but just trying to get a good run up to the next corner. You gotta be very aggressive, or as aggressive as possible on the brakes, and you see I went way too deep. Ended up sliding the car around the corner though, and just scrubbed off so much speed. It's going to be 91 miles per hour, which will be good enough to give us a silver. So here we are in third practice, just doing the race strategy program here. Just on our first lap, you can see we're down. I was really struggling to get used to the car here. On the brakes, very aggressive on the curbing, and that's going to bite me. I go around, keep it out of the barriers, but it was definitely a struggle, and I just retired from the session. And with that, we're gonna head into qualifying. So here we are in Q1, just getting prepared to do a lap. As you see, we're changing out the ICE. So we're gonna already be put on the back foot here, as that's gonna take 10 minutes to do, about 9 minutes to do. So we're really only going to get 1 shot at this in Q1, maybe 2, if we're lucky. But we're going to head out here for our first lap in qualifying. Here we are now on the run up to the line to start our first lap here in qualifying. I don't know what is happening. We're down into turn 1, through turn 2, very aggressive on the curve, and a little step out onto the DRS now. Just trying to see where we can end up here. Down into turn 3, way too deep, locked up the right front. Into turn 4, right there on the bottom, right on the exit curve. We just turned in a little too early, had to lift off. And you can see we're already 7/10 down, and I go way wide, really jamming on the brake. And at this point, I'm thinking of just backing off, and you see that's exactly what I do. Dropped the ERS down to 9 and just jammed on the brakes. Just trying to get something going here. Now at the end of that lap, we're coming out for our second run here on the same set of tires. Up to the line to start the lap. You see we're 12 seconds off of Piastri. Just wasn't a good lap, and we get damaged in turn 1. Took too much curve, so this basically means it's going to be a our last shot at getting a lap in, because we're not going to have time with the damage repair to get in another lap. But you see, we're already a second up, run a little bit wide, still 1.1 up on our first lap, which is very good, means we're ahead of Piastri, 0.3 up on Alsker. Through the first of the reprofiled section, we nearly lost the back end. And down the straight now, we are 1.92 seconds up on our lap. But that's not really a big showing here. We are actually still just barely up on Oscar Piastri. We go wide, cut the corner, we're going to get in the gravel and spin round. Into the barrier, backing it in. Heavy damage to the car. And that just ruined this quali lap. So we're going to be forced to try and go out with a damaged rear wing and floor. You see, I'm trying to save up everything, get some more heat in the tires, just trying to save up battery for this one run. We've only got one shot at this with damage. Just trying to save up some more battery. We're gonna let Verstappen by here. But this qualifying session couldn't have gone any worse. Here we go, they're trying to start a lap, and in the final corner it just breaks free. And that's just when I call it quits. So it's going to be P22 for the Australian Grand Prix, as we'll get heading to the race.
Hello and welcome from Melbourne, a track modified since we last raced here in Albert Park, and I think with the changes, it's going to be a classic. We're a stone's throw from the enormous Port Phillip Bay for today's race at the 3.28-mile Albert Park circuit. It's a bumpy racing surface here, and the 14 corners could prove especially difficult in the wet conditions. So watch out for a safety car at some point during this Grand Prix. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And a second. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Hamilton, Sergio Perez, and Russell. Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Ocon, and Yuki Tsunoda. Bottas, Magnussen, Lando.
Well, there you have it. We're starting P22 alongside Nicholas Latifi.
I know what you can do. Don't let me
In
down.
the rain here, 29 laps around the Albert Park circuit. We're going to try and go a little longer on the first stint, taking more fuel than I normally would out of the car. We're going to actually raise the front wing, but let's head down to the formation lap. Here we are getting set to pull onto the grid. Just trying to get a little bit of heat in the tires. We're going to start lighting up the rears early. Here, as soon as we get out of the final corner, you can see really lighting up the rear tires. And let's see how well we get a park here. We're going to try and aim it a little bit. And there it is. Optimal on the line. Here we go for the 5 red lights. The 5 red lights are out and away we go from Melbourne, and it's a pretty decent getaway from us. It's a really good getaway from us. Already jumping Piastri, both Williams and Zhou Guanyu. Looking down the inside into turn 1. We're going to get underneath Vettel for P15. Not going to be able to make the move stick though. Vettel holds on to the spot. Down the second straightaway though, this corner has gotten very wide, which means you can have a deep lunge, which we do. 4 wide on Mick Schumacher. Down the inside, a little bit of contact with the Haas. Can Can we clear Mick? Yes, we can, but we could not quite clear Norris just yet. Still down his inside, turned in early. We're going to squeeze out the McLaren and get through. Great first lap for us, but we're not done with it yet. Trying to gain on Kevin Magnussen's Haas here. As we're now in the later half of the lap, you gotta be very careful through that corner though. It is very easy to have the car step out on you. But now Mick Schumacher's looking down our inside. Heading into the very quick chicane. We tried and we do. We hold him on the outside, pinch him off entering the corner. You gotta be very careful of using up that curb though. Now just trying to break back within a second of Kevin Magnussen here. Because we're kind of in a Haas sandwich right now, but so far, a great start for us here. Now we're on to lap 2 though, 1.2 seconds back from Magnussen. We head off into the start of the reprofiled section, and then just out of nowhere, we get really wide, clip the grass, have a giant tank slapper somehow hold on to it. We have to let Schumacher through, but we're not going to let Norris go. Looking down the inside of the McLaren, and he's going to back out, and we're going to take back the 13th spot, and now try to get by Mick Schumacher for the position. Here we are, though, now on the start of lap 3, just about 6 tenths behind Schumacher, and
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
what? Why is DRS enabled? DRS has been enabled here, but it is very clearly wet. We're all on intermediate tires, and it's raining. Why did the FIA decide to enable DRS? But it doesn't matter at this point. We are right there on the gearbox with Mick Schumacher, trying to get by the Haas here. We turned in too early again. I have struggled with that corner all race, all weekend long, but we are still there on Mick and the Haas. He's pulled a bit of a gap. We gotta be careful here. You see I lift off the throttle, but still lose the back end a bit. We've just got too much on the front wing to be able to hold our line there. And that allowed Mick to break out just a bit more. But down into the chicane, we close the gap on the Haas. And again, we're just aggressive on the curve, and DRS now deployed on Mick Schumacher, but we're not close enough for a move. Goal right now is just to try and hold position. If we get close to Mick, we'll try and go for the overtake, but he's not really our worry at this point. As now, here we are on lap 5, Lando Norris is really close to the gap. We make a mistake. Norris looks to the outside. He's gonna go off. Norris is off and into the gravel trap. Big mistake from the McLaren trying to make a move on us. Here comes Valtteri Bottas around our outside now. We're gonna squeeze the Alfa Romeo out, and we're going to hold on to the 13th spot, but only on lap 5. Mick Schumacher is 4 seconds ahead of us. We are really holding up this pack. This car is not feeling good in the rain. Now we're here on lap 6. Bottas is about 4 tenths behind us. He's trying to close in. He did on exit, but we look behind. There's a yellow flag for the Williams. It's Nicholas Latifi, and he's out of the session. Safety car deployed here in Melbourne. What happened to the Williams? We take a look back. What happened to Nicholas Latifi? Just going through the chicane, he just loses it on the curb and is out of the race. Left front taken off. He just pulled Latifi in real life. Just spun in the corner that's really not that tough. And into the barrier hard. But the safety car is deployed here on lap 6 of this Grand Prix. Here we are on lap 9 now. Lined up behind Schumacher.
Safety car in this lap. Safety car in this lap. Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature. Remember, there's no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flags.
So the safety car is in this lap here in Australia, lap 9 of 29. Here, about a third of the way through this Grand Prix, and you've definitely seen already. I've been struggling in the rain. The tires are starting to get worn out, and it's just going to be so much more difficult. But currently, it's the Ferrari out front, leading the way here as the safety car is in. When do they go? Or when does the leader go? And it's right. It looks like it's right. Now goes the leader. We're going to be looking to make a move on Schumacher down into turn 1. We're already alongside the Haas. And down into turn 1, we're actually edging ahead. And we break so much later than Mick into back into P12. But we get really aggressive on the curbing. Kind of slid the back end out of turn 2. We're still ahead of the Haas. Down into turn 3. But we lock up. Went in way too deep. Here comes Mick. He's not going to be able to take advantage of that. We hold on to the spot. Here we are, though, at the end of lap 10, going through this quick chicane. We run a little bit wide, get out on the curving, but it's still just ahead of Mick Schumacher by 0.3. And we went in way too deep. Lock up. Schumacher's going to go by. Here comes the Alfa Romeo of Valtteri Bottas, and he's going to go through. Just a terrible corner for us. And we lock up on the grass. These tires feel dead. We get into Piastri just a little bit, but we remain ahead of our teammates. Here we are in lap 12, and now Lance Stroll is pressuring us. He goes down the inside, and we have just called to box this lap. The tires feel dead. Stroll gets ahead of us. We have a little bit of a moment there on this, through there. This race has not gone to plan for us. Everything has started to fall apart here. The tires are just wearing way quicker than we thought. Just trying to get back at Stroll now. DRS open. We're using some overtake. Just going to try and get around the Aston Martin. He goes defensive. We try to force him into a mistake, but it's not going to work. Stroll keeps ahead as we head into the final 3 corners now. We run a little bit wide. Heading into the corner now. So here we go now, entering the pit lane. As it's going to be... We get on the brakes early because I cannot see where the pit board is. And now let's see how well our turning is here. And it's going to be optimal at 0.5 seconds.
Seems to have been a problem removing the left rear wheel.
And there's an issue on the left rear, so this stop was meant to be an undercut.
Up to speed now, let's get some heat into those
It goes from anywhere between 2.2 to 2.5 to 4.5 seconds long. So it's not a good stop for us here. We're basically all alone. Albon and Piastri behind us. Here on lap 13. Here we are, though, on lap 13, going down the backstretch into the fast chicane. And we just could not get the car to turn. We go wide. I check if there's anything wrong with the car, and nothing's wrong, but that allows Alex Albon and Oscar Piastri to close the gap to us here. We head into the corner. We go a little bit wide, but Albon's not able to get close enough. But we just can't get the car to turn in. Albon now gets into us a bit. Albon hits us there. But we're going to hold off the Williams for now. Here we are on lap 15, still ahead of Albon and Piastri, but we get loose on the curb. Save the car, but get into Oscar again. This is the second time this season we've hit Piastri after a mistake, and now we have a 5-second time penalty. And that's basically ended our race completely.
Strategy available on the MFT.
We're forced to have to pit here.
Understood, copy that.
I'm running wide, I can't get the car to turn. We're going to pit this lap. And yet again, it's heartbreak as the leaders are starting to come into the pit. But it's just been such a tough start for the season. These first 3 races have been very disappointing. We go wide and go around, actually. Just trying to get the car back to the pits within the gravel trap. And this race has gone from bad to even worse because we can't get the car straight. The rear tires are lit up. And I just don't even know what the point is anymore here on lap 15. Here we are on lap 17. We just had to let Mick Schumacher put us a lap down. It's been really tough this race. And we're a minute behind our teammate Piastri. But here we are though on lap 18, and we're just gonna go for a spin. Tried to save it, but we can't. And then Lando Norris runs into us. Norris has hit us, and Perez has hit Norris. Norris and Perez are out of the race. We have heavy damage. Your safety car deployed, and we're just gonna call it quits at this point. I don't even know what I was doing at this point in the race, but we've just taken out two of the front runners, including the driver who was second in the championship, and it's just not been a good idea for me to be out here, so I just decided to call it quits right here at the end of this straight away. We're gonna pull off into the chicane, and I don't know, I was just being dumb at the end of that race. There was no reason for me to be doing that. I take 100% blame for that accident, but that is going to be it here for us in Australia. Let's hand it over to David Croft here for the end of this one.
Another superb Australian Grand Prix comes to
Their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
the world over to see them come out on top once again.
And there you have it. Charles Leclerc wins the Australian Grand Prix over Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. And with that, Leclerc is the new points leader. Verstappen moves into second, just 6 points behind Charles Leclerc. But that's going to be it from this Australian GP. Please tune in next time for the Imola GP, or the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix at Imola, where we have the first sprint weekend of the career mode.